everyone, this is Kim Shirillo with the Next Generation Spirituality at BeTheChangeNow.com. And today we're going to talk about my story. And why am I sharing my story? I'm hoping it'll be inspirational for you and hoping that you'll listen to it and say, hey, if Kim can do it, so can I. And this is my story, my spiritual awakening story. And everyone has a different story and a different timing. But this is how mine went. I started out years ago as an electrical engineer working on a payload for the Space Shuttle for NASA. And it was super exciting, cutting edge stuff. Until one day I started having a lot of health issues and physical symptoms. And so I started going to one doctor after another, one specialist after another, and no one could figure out what was going on with me, what was going wrong. And they said, you know, potentially you have a brain tumor. And I was in my 20s at the time, and that is traumatic for anyone, especially for someone that young, and looking at your own mortality. And at that time I realized, wow, like I could be dying. And I don't know what the meaning of life is or what my purpose in life is. And I better figure that out before I go. So I started on a search. And as I guess a lot of people go through when they feel like they are dying, I thought, well, maybe I should quit my job and just go do things on my bucket list, go travel around the world and eat whatever I want and all of that fun stuff. And I thought to myself, no, I'm going to keep just going on with my life and going to work as much as I can when I'm feeling well enough and just go on. And in the process, I met somebody who mentioned a spiritual class. And at the time, again, I'm an aerospace engineer, an electrical engineer working on a payload on the space shuttle. If you can't prove it, I don't believe it. So any spiritual path was, crazy and ridiculous to me. And the crazy thing is that at the time when the person mentioned the classes, I was like, well, I think I'll go to the first workshop, the first all-day workshop. I don't think I'm going to believe in it. I think I'll probably leave early and tell the teacher she's crazy. But it was like, what do I have to lose? Right? And I guess that was part of, thinking I might be potentially dying, since the medical community was unable to find what was causing my symptoms, and my symptoms were getting worse. And their answer to me was, we'll just wait and see. We'll just wait and see. Things get worse. Come back and see us. I guess they're hoping a new symptom would pop up where they could figure out what was going on. I don't know. Anyway, so I ended up going to the spiritual class, an all-day workshop. And not only did I not leave early, I stayed for the entire day. And when we got to the end of the class, the teacher said, hey, part 2 of the workshop is coming up and there's one space available. Would you like it? And I heard myself almost like, in cartoons, you have that bubble coming out of your head with what you're thinking. And I heard myself saying like, yeah, that would be great. And realizing I thought it would be great. And as we went through the class during the day, that first day, I was learning all the tools and skills I needed to find my answer for what's the meaning of life and what's my purpose in life. And it was just so super helpful and so empowering. And from there, I took all the workshops, and I also became an Evolutionary Reiki master, a magnified healing master, all to heal myself, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. To grow spiritually was why I was taking all of these classes. And I kept telling my teacher, I am never going to teach classes. I am never going to have private sessions with clients. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm just doing this for me. And my teacher would just smile. Okay, that's nice. And now I know it was a knowing smile, because little by little, I said, well, okay, I'll teach this one class, but that's all. And then, well, I will set up a booth at this metaphysical store once a month, but that's all. And little by little, I now teach all of the workshops that I've learned, and all of the energy healing workshops as well, both evolutionary Reiki and magnified healing. And I've created some of my own workshops as well for advanced energy healing and advanced spiritual growth. So, and I see clients weekly. So not that your spiritual awakening story needs to be one where you have a life-threatening medical crisis. And not that your spiritual awakening story means you have to do what I do. I have a lot of students and clients that say, Kim, I don't want, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I don't want to do what you do. And I say, that's okay. That's okay. We need doctors and lawyers and nurses and teachers and plumbers and electricians and postal workers and you name it, that have a spiritual path. And a great example is, I lived in the spiritual town of Crestone, Colorado for several years. It's in Southwest Colorado. And there, most people in town have a spiritual path, whether it's a specific kind of Buddhism or Hinduism, or whether it is Sufism or following the Kabbalah. Many, many different paths there. And people will hire somebody. They will hire the plumber who has a dedicated spiritual path. That plumber might be a different spiritual path than the person who's hiring them, and that person doesn't care. They just know this person is bringing all of their spiritual learning to their workday. And people will hire the pet sitter who has a spiritual path. People will go to the hairdresser who has a spiritual path. People will hire the builders to build their house who has a spiritual path. Going to the dentist who has a spiritual path, right? Even I have clients who are authors. And I'm like, I don't want to write spiritual books. Like, you don't have to. There's so many things you could write about, but you're bringing your spiritual beliefs to whatever you're writing about. You're bringing that energy, that love, that compassion, that understanding. Whether you're writing about the news and doing blogs, or doing live streaming, or writing fictional stories. So many of my clients come to me and say, hey, I'm going on vacation, and I don't want to read a real heady spiritual book, but I don't want to read some kind of trash, romance novel or sci-fi novel either. Is there something that I want it to be fictional? I want it to be a story. I want it to be easy and fun and light and engaging, right? And there are more and more spiritual writers who write fictional stories. My favorite, which is, an oldie but a goodie, is The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. Super, super great fictional story of an adventure of an American who goes to Peru and goes studying about ruins and learning about energy and how we're all energy and how to see the energy and share the energy. So again, I'm sharing my story with you to say, if I can wake up spiritually, if I can do it, someone who was an engineer, and if you can't prove it, I'm not going to believe it, to getting to the point of, oh, everything is energy. So we can work with that energy to help each other, help Mother Earth, help ourselves grow and learn, and have a life filled with love and peace and joy and ease and flow, and any other word you want to add in there. Okay. If you'd like to know more about what I do, or look into private sessions or my workshops, they are all listed on my website, BeTheChangeNow.com. That's BeTheChangeNow.com. From Gandhi's quote, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." And I added now, be the change now. Don't wait. Just take little steps every day, because those little steps add up to big changes, big, wonderful changes in your life. And if you have questions or want to get more understanding about what we can do together, you are welcome to get on my website and sign up for a free 20-minute discovery session. All right. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Again, this is Kim Chiarello. Namaste. Thank you.